Welcome to JCTV, Spotlight on the Arts, supported by many art enthusiasts coming to you from the capital city of Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm your host, Rick J., with two special guests today, Honorable Mayor of Jefferson City, Mayor Carrie Tergin, and artist Andrea Roose. Please join me, if you would, in first welcoming Mayor Carrie Tergin to JCTV Spotlight on the Arts. Mayor Tergin, welcome to Mid-Missouri Art News.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. If you could, please tell us, and I've got a long history in the city of Jefferson City, but a vast, shall we say, family experience throughout the world, in a sense. So please tell us a little bit about what describes Honorable Mayor Tergin.
Well, thank you. I have been mayor now. I'm in my 5th year, and I'm 3rd generation here in Jefferson City. You mentioned my family. My grandfather came to this country from Greece as a young boy, and he loved Missouri. He loved Jefferson City. When he saw our state capitol building, he was really amazed, and he lived and worked within a block of the Capitol his entire life. And so I'm just proud to carry on that same tradition and just really having such a love for our capital city.
Excellent. Well, you know, you're so much in touch with the community, Jefferson City, Missouri. And today I'd like to introduce you as an artist to the Jefferson City art community. And the great following we have here on JCTV, Spotlight on the Arts. It's an honor to have you and shine the light on you and share your passion for art with our worldwide viewers. Thanks to you, to maybe our sister city in
Minchburg,
Germany.
Yes.
I didn't want to destroy that. And the folks even in Greece, the family, if you'll join us, if they will join us maybe in the future on YouTube. Well, you've been quoted as saying, art is everything. So it surrounds us. Art is my passion. Can you explain how your passion, how it feels, what you extend from that, how you first became inspired into art?
Sure. Well, art really is in everything, and sometimes we don't always see it, but it's right in front of us and it's all around us, and everybody has their own perspective of art and what art is and what their talent and passions may be, and whether it's visual arts, which is what I'm very interested in, and there's just so many kinds of art in everything we do in life. And I've always been inspired by art. I've loved painting from a very early age. I remember in kindergarten was my favorite thing was getting into the crayons and the paints, and so I just really remember that love of art and it being my favorite thing even as a young student in as early as kindergarten. So, and I've just really grown up enjoying all the art classes and went to college at Missouri State University and majored in business, but I took any art class that I could just for fun and really enjoyed having that outlet to kind of be creative and enjoy and learn about art. And in high school, the art classes were also my favorite classes. So although I went into the business field and I own a small business, Carrie's Hallmark on High Street, and although I'm the mayor of Jefferson City, I think having an art background, no matter what, it helps you think creatively and see a big picture sometimes when others may not see it as easily, and being able to see and describe and have that kind of vision. So I'm very blessed to have a love for art.
Right. So it basically opens the mind up, in a sense, not only in the art sense, but also how you look at things. Basically, I'm looking at a kind of a structured person that learns from art to keep an open mind, look at what's before you, and see what you can basically do with that, depending
Yes.
on the situation. So I think it's a very good synopsis of how to look at it. Well, now you spoke of visiting Greece, and was that any influence at all, the art that comes from your homeland?
Absolutely, it always is, and I'm very fortunate to have family there, and I visit frequently. And the ocean inspires me when I'm there, the landscape, and I've been there before and brought paint with me and brought my paint. But really, what I found is the easiest is to take photographs, and then usually that's my inspiration. I would love to be able to sit and paint out in the open and paint what inspires me. I've painted the mountains there. They have beautiful mountains. They're near Mount Olympus. So every time I'm there, I'll find myself taking numerous pictures of things that inspire me that I would love to paint in the future. But I always have kind of ongoing list of things that I would love to paint.
I made that list about 20 years ago, and I still am working on that list.
Yes.
But that's the way it happens. You have to remember what inspired you, take the photos, make the list, and when you reach a certain age, and you're not so busy as a mayor, you might be able to have more time to
Sure.
sit down. That's happening with many at my age anyway. Well, another quote of yours you shared on your blog. It's an excellent blog. I'd invite people to tune in and learn more about Mayor Tergin. She said that my dream occupation would be to play with paint. So please share with the viewers this feeling. I know my passion, but your passion may be a little bit different.
Sure. Well, if I could do anything aside from being mayor, which is just the best job in the world to have, it really is. But if I could do anything, it would be paint. I love to paint. It's definitely my passion. I think that people who enjoy art can really understand, and whatever their art may be, whether it's art or music or whatever creativity that they enjoy doing in life, that we all have that part of us that wishes we could do that all the time. And the time that I do get to paint, I enjoy. It's wonderful to be able to create, and there's so much around us, especially here in Jefferson City, that is very inspiring. Yes.
Now we are putting some of your work on the timeline so the viewers can see it and enjoy it. Well, your favorite medium, I must ask from a technical standpoint, I guess, what is your favorite medium and subject matter? I know also you love to photography, and you have some excellent photography work there. So what, do you like oils or?
I like oils. They're fairly new to me, and the thing is they take a long time to dry, and it seems like a lot of my projects, I wish I could work on them as long as I would like to, but I found that acrylic is what I typically do, so most of my work is acrylic on canvas, but I love watercolor and I love tempera paint, and I think what I like about tempera is that you can still continue to mix and change and evolve a painting, so I think that I always like kind of that mixing the colors. You know, when I paint with acrylic, I just start with just the red, yellow, and blue and white and mix all my colors from that. And I think back to high school art and Mr. Haslag giving me advice about contrast and what contrast is and using contrast, and contrast is in all parts of our life, you know, the good and the bad and whatever kind of contrast there is. But I still can sometimes hear my art teachers talking to me, you know, when you've got a canvas in front of you and you can hear those words. And so
remember back and
yes.
The next tip. Well, I think you're basically the first on the program who does like to work with the tempera. So that's interesting.
It's hard to find. We used it in high school and I loved it. I love how easy it is to mix, and it mixes so beautifully. And that's what I love, is creating those colors and mixing that. And I like the vibrant colors, so I like to, you know, enhance. And that's the fun thing with art, is you can kind of enhance your subject. And I love painting the Capitol and our river and just the beautiful things we have in Jefferson City. And it's fun to be able to brighten and enhance colors the way you want to visually portray them creatively.
Oh, yes. Well, I have to, you know, you recently reading not only the news, but also on your blog again, you recently took part in a fundraiser auction where our Honorable Lieutenant Governor Mike Kehoe became the highest bidder for your painting, and now basically owns it, and it's really traveling around. I guess it's called Capitol Fireworks.
Yes, and right now it is in the Lieutenant Governor's office in the state capitol. So next time you're there, I encourage you to go in his office on the second floor, and you can see the Capitol with the fireworks. And Lieutenant Governor Kehoe has always been a supporter of the arts, and when I painted that original painting, and he purchased it, I believe it was in 2006, and it was before he was an elected official, and at the time he loaned it to then Senator Carl Vogel, the late Carl Vogel, in his office, and we thought a lot of Carl. He was amazing, and so it stayed in his office until Kehoe became a state senator, and so then it was in Kehoe's office, and now as the lieutenant governor, it's hanging in his office now. So it's, and Lieutenant Governor Kehoe also was the sponsor of the fireworks, so at the time he was very supportive of our community events. So to capture the fireworks and the Capitol all in one painting and have that hanging in the Capitol is really the highest honor for me.
I know Lieutenant Governor Kehoe is, works with the Missouri Division of Humanities, and there's some exciting things happening with that. Well, you do have that very informative blog. Would you like to tell the viewers how to log on? Or?
Yes, I would love to have people follow my blog, and they can look at that at mayortergin.blogspot, or they can go to the City of Jefferson website and access a media page that has some articles. So that is jeffersoncitymo.gov, and they can go to the City Council and Mayor page. But they can also find me on social media at Carrie Tergin, and that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Oh, great.
So I invite people to follow me that way. And most of my artwork they can find has been really auctioned off at charity auctions. So even Mom and Dad, when they finally wanted one of my paintings, they bought it at a charity auction because they felt like that's really the only time I do painting is for charities. And I think that's a great way to give back. And whatever our talent is, we can certainly give back that way.
Forward, give back. That is excellent. What a great position you have, and working with the charities. That's honorable.
Thank you.
Well, before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for the proclamation going to the Jefferson City Art Club, what they call the annual Fling Social. Actually was held November 8th, and recognizing actually it's part of sharing art within the community for the past 116 years. So on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club, thank you for attending and making the proclamation. I know they feel honored.
So this reads, whereas the Jefferson City Art Club was organized in September of 1903 by Miss Ada Oldham and several young ladies in Jefferson City, Missouri, who wished to share the joys of art with the community. Their inspiration was confirmed by a visit of the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri. They then returned to Jefferson City and began their journey as an outstanding art club that is now respectively 100 years in longevity. And whereas the members of the Jefferson City, Missouri Art Club are dedicated to the study of and the fostering of art appreciation in the community. And whereas the Jefferson City Art Club was founded in 1904 to support the study of and fostering of art, the Jefferson City Art Club has continued its purpose by presenting art functions for the community, by joining forces with the schools, the City of Jefferson, and artists with a vast geometrical area continuing to enhance the love of art. And whereas Jefferson City, Missouri Art Club is currently in its 116th year, now therefore I, Carrie Tergin, Mayor of the City of Jefferson, do hereby proclaim November 8th, 2019, as Jefferson City Art Club Day in the City of Jefferson. So congratulations and keep up the great work. Keep up the great artwork. Thank you all very much.
Well, you're welcome. Art is so important in our community. Whatever we can all do to help is really important.
Thank you. Well, Mayor Tergin, on behalf of JCTV, Spotlight of the Arts, I want to thank you for sharing your passion of art in all forms with us today.
Thank you for having me, and it's an honor, and I will continue to share art, and I think that it really helps us all have a vision no matter what our passion and no matter what we enjoy doing. Art is in all of that.
Excellent. And I hope to have you back, if I may.
I would love to.
Super, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, after the break, we meet artist Andrea Roose, who studied art and design in Florence, Italy, and it shows in her work. So you've got to stay tuned and take a look and listen to this interesting story. She will surely inspire you to take a close look at what is happening in her artwork. There's more right after this. Stay with us.
What do you guys want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
1, 2, ready, go. Gonna pull the stops, gonna make it go. You're living on a wing and a prayer. Gonna put them things together. You know it's now or never.
Welcome back to JCTV Spotlight on the Arts. Join me now as I turn to artist Andrea Roose in welcoming Ms. Roose from Sedalia, Missouri. Andrea, if I may call you by your first name.
Yes.
Please tell me, if you can, or tell our viewers a little bit about what best describes Andrea Roose.
I come from a long line of artists. One thing I enjoy in my possession is my great-grandfather's oil painting in Denmark, 1887.
Wow.
When the family name was Rasmussen.
Oh, I see.
And then my grandfather came to the United States, and at Ellis Island, the family name was changed to Roose.
I see.
And my grandfather was a sculptor.
Sculpture. And we'll be showing one of his works.
No, my father.
Oh, your father.
My father then was a commercial artist and a portrait painter, and he used to paint the winner of the Indy 500 each year as part of their trophy winnings.
I see.
And that was the late 40s, early 50s. And my favorite portrait that he did is the portrait of me when I was 6 years old.
I see. A very talented artist also. Now you've dropped away from the art interest of art for a while in life, like many of us people have, but now you're back into it, shall we say. And so I guess I should say, well,
Yes.
family history, any hellos you'd like to give out to anyone while we're on camera today?
I have a sister in Denver who also paints.
Excellent.
So, hello.
Hello, great. Well, can you tell us how you was really first inspired and what continues you now to continue on with this passion for art that artists seem to share?
For me, I think it's very personal, and it's like taking a solo adventure with a blank canvas, which can be pretty intimidating sometimes.
Yes.
But once you start the decision making and you have ideas, it just builds, and it's a journey.
And you can't wait to complete it after the first month. With me, it takes about 3 months, so I can't wait to finish, but as it comes together, it just is, it's really refreshing. And,
And that's an interesting thing to know when it is finished.
yes. I always say, is a painting ever really finished?
Oh.
You probably can identify with that.
Yes.
For sure. Well, what is your favorite medium, subject matter that you would like to work with?
Oh, I've explored a lot. I, in the past, really enjoyed oil painting.
I see.
And liked nature, sketching first, and then going back to the studio, and sometimes referring to personal photography, which
I see.
I can never use one photograph. It has to be a composite of ideas that I like, that I pull together from my own creation.
Yes, I can understand that, identify with that. You might want a certain type of tree, so that's another photograph.
Right.
So that's interesting. So was there, with your great-grandfather, father being an artist, you would, I'm sure you had to watched as a child, maybe, and inspired by just
A lot of times
looking on?
I'd go downtown and watch my father at work, or when he'd come home, he'd go to his studio. And I was young, but I watched.
Young and impressionistic, I guess.
Yes.
Well, excellent, excellent. Well, back to grandfather. Was a sculptor, and your father was a well-known artist at one time. Can you really share that experience of having a great grandfather and a father as artists? What did that really mean to you at some point in your life? Did you fall back on that, or did you just sort of ride the wave on the board?
Until recently, where I'm older, do I appreciate the antiquity and the long line. As I was growing up, it didn't make that much of an impression, really. It seemed like I grew up in a home that looked like a museum.
Oh, I see. So it was not something you would go out and seek and be amazed at. Sometimes we've had guests that maybe was looking at a Monet, up front, and they just seemed to have a feeling come over them that that's something they would like to do.
Oh, no. It began with coloring on the wallpaper and being encouraged.
Oh, I see. So yes, when you live with it, it's a little bit different than going out and visiting a venue or what have you. I was honored, felt honored to speak with you at the Missouri State Fair.
Well, thank you.
Top 50 up there that day. I knew right away I wanted to invite you to be a guest here on the show. I sure want to thank you again for coming. Now, you shared that you studied art and design in Florence, Italy.
Wow.
And so you've got to please share that experience with them. I'm sure that had to be somewhat inspiring. I just can't imagine actually laying eyes on.
Oh, it was a remarkable experience because for years looking at so many famous things like the painting on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, in its cracked and dull look, and I happened to see that right after it was restored, and all the colors were so fresh and lively, and just to study actually Renaissance art history in the heart of Florence was exciting.
Was you just basically walking in the dream world? Probably, I've seen a few that paintings or artwork that just, you get that feeling, it just overcomes you in amazement, I guess you could say. I don't know the word for it, but.
One thing that really impressed me was the appreciation of antiquity and restoration instead of demolish.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes, absolutely.
That someone is now really taking care of things and restoring them. So not only locally, but in different other lands also. So that's really great. Well, you shared with me also that just now getting back into the love of creating artwork. So please share your story with us. Include, if you can, that I understand you have a protege named Cody Cooper. And Cody's with us here in the studio audience today.
Yes, he is.
So that's got to be inspiring.
Very inspiring. He happened to visit, my home and saw my work and questioned, why aren't you painting? And so I had a different job that required 24/7.
Oh, I see.
And that was the last 4 years taking care of, someone with a traumatic brain injury in my home.
I see.
So
it's a full-time job.
It was. So now I'm retired.
Retired.
I want to get back to that tactile feeling with the paint.
Oh, yes. Well, I can't wait to see now the next time we invite you to sit at the round table, see what's transpired in that period of time. Like we do invite many guests back to see where they're at in their art world at a later time.
Well, that would be encouraging also.
Great. Now, Andrea, do you have any upcoming exhibits? Have you anything prepared? I know you're from Sedalia. They have an excellent Sedalia Visual Arts Association, which I'm proud to be a member of, and they're very active. Wondered if, do you have anything planned for one of their shows or
Don't
exhibits?
have anything planned. I hope to solicit some commission work.
Yes.
I've done a lot of that in the past. And I painted a lot and exhibited before I went to the Kansas City Art Institute. But I, at the time, needed to learn an employable art skill.
Right.
So my degree was in visual communication design.
Well, as you can see, Andrea's work is magnificent. You can see the influence of Florence, Italy in her work and her studies. Kansas City Institute of Art is a good foundation. We've done a program recently with Zygmunt Pridi from Latvia at a request from the Kansas City Art Institute. So again, we have a lady that's somewhat associated, has got a great foundation as an artist, and it shows. The artwork speaks well for Andrea, I would say. Well, Andrea, do you have a contact address, website, or for these commissions that you might would like to talk to someone about? A phone number?
Phone number, 660-281-3395. And my email is Andrea, the number 4, and art, number 2000@yahoo.com.
Oh, great. All right. We'll put that on the timeline so people can see it up front.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we're just about out of time, so would you like to speak to someone that is in your position now, semi or retired, or even a young student like your protege Cody, reaching out to others that might be interested? What inspiring words to get them restarted or to begin picking up the brush?
I brought 3 examples of studies in observation, and it really, the subject matter doesn't matter. If you're looking at something, pay close attention, learn your eye-hand coordination. The white napkin isn't painted with white paint. The silver can is not painted with silver paint. Do some good observation. Still lifes are a great way to start because they don't move.
Now,
you can capture them.
Will you be teaching classes, not only commission work, but are you open to teaching classes? Some of these skills, I'd love to sit down with you for an hour and learn how to paint that tin can you were looking at.
Observation.
Observation. Just close your mouth, Rick, and watch. You know, they used to tell me when I was on radio, at least they could turn me off. So
Oh, no.
I'd always thought that was funny. No, I'm just joking. Well, Andrea, we're just about out of time. So on behalf of JCTV Spotlight on the Arts, I want to thank you so much for contributing to Mid-Missouri Art News, making a learning and informative experience for all.
Thank you, Rick.
You're mighty welcome. Well, and thank you, JCTV, producer Gloria Enlow and crew. And thank you, our viewers, for watching. It's great that YouTube has opened the world to the program. Look for more Mid-Missouri Art News, Spotlight on the Arts, right here to JCTV. And don't forget YouTube. I'm Rick J. saying, see you next time.